Okay, welcome to the reality check with Charles Butler. We getting a little Christmas music in and talking about some of the things that may or may not impact you. But I can tell you this hearing, this high tech hearing that we have going on is really a joke. I've been watching and listening to bits and pieces of it as it's gone on all day. They just broke recess for it wasn't lunch, but they took a little break. And I tell you the honest God truth, I don't see how these people can sit here and just lie. Like Pamela Carlin, she's a professor from Stanford. I think she should be fired. I mean, her incompetence is is just amazing. How suspect this person is. I mean, what she had to say was just so bizarre that I could not. What is that? Yeah, her what she had to say was just so bizarre. I could even begin to uh, process it. She talked about what really pushed her over the edge and what got her attention. And I'm looking at this and listening to her, and I'm going, this woman has some real serious issues. So I'm gonna let you decide for yourself. This is her testimony, not mine. Listen. Uh oh. Okay, here we go. Let me go back up here. I have to turn the sound on, guys. um, it's just amazing that these people refuse to deal with the truth. How do you have a meeting? How do you have any conclusions? How do you bring anything to the table when people refuse? And I mean, blatantly, just refuse to tell the truth. So here we go. See, see, that's her opinion. See, that's her opinion. It has nothing to do with the fact that's her opinion. Her opinion is that asking President Zelensky, Donald Trump asking Zelensky to look to do this investigation somehow benefits him personally because Joe Biden, and listen, he never mentioned Joe Biden. He never mentioned Hunter Biden. And in his reference to the Biden, it was Hunter. It wasn't Joe. It was Hunter. So, so how does, if Hunter Biden had done anything wrong, how does that hurt Joe Biden? See, these liberals are all in this game together, and they're in this game of lying to the people. So she's sitting here. This is a supposedly constitutional professor at Stanford University who's just blatantly lying. She says, "Well, wait a minute. The president he required the president to just make these announcements. He didn't have to do the investigation. He just had to announce the investigations." She's lying. That's her opinion. That's what she thinks. It has nothing to do with the facts. And that's why it gets me all and everyone else all riled up, because at the end of the day, these people are lying on the president. Why are they lying on the president? Because they know he's going to win in a landslide. He's taking it to them. Yeah, he's taking it to them, no question. And let me say this about that. Trump is getting stronger every day. And these liberals, they hate it. I just left a bunch of liberals, a bunch of Democrats, and they hate Trump. And they hate that Trump's taking their little brown brothers. They no longer have control over their little brown brothers and sisters who blindly go out and vote for him, even though they're racist as hell and have their children in inferior schools and with inferior teachers who can't compete with their kids. Like, look at New York, for instance. You know, the prototype of the arch liberal, right? Do you know that they're still having issues of school integration in New York? There was a big blow up last year, right before the summer break, because they were going to start putting these black kids in white schools. And the parents went absolutely berserk. The white liberals. I can't believe you're having my children go to school with those. I get it. I've been in that camp. Because see, those kids from those lower income communities, they come with a whole bunch of issues, man. They come with a whole bunch of stuff like sex, like fighting, like stealing, like disruption, intimidation. I mean, they bring a whole bunch of stuff. And I know this from personal experience growing up and being in an all white school, being in a black school first, then an all white school, and then watching black kids come in with their bullshit. The fighting and the stealing and I'm going to be in charge of you. The bullying, and teachers. See, when I was coming along, we had male teachers. And male teachers didn't tolerate that bull. We got too many women today. They don't understand anything about what guys do. Absolutely nothing. Male teachers stop the bullying. Say, I'm the big dog in this classroom. You can't bully so-and-so. You can't bully Bobby because I'm the bully. The female teacher, well, we're going to try to understand. We're going to try to get along. We need to figure out why you're such a... Shut the hell up. I'm tired of these women. Sorry, women out there who are teachers. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. We need more males in these classrooms to deal with these boys. And then the other thing they do with these boys is they claim they have ADH. The ADH, I got a whole book, several books actually, on how these teachers are drugging up these kids, these young men, because they're too busy. They're boys. They have a lot of energy. They're supposed to. They're healthy boys. Oh my God, they're just so rambunctious. They have so much energy. Jesus. I tell you, we have a society We have a society that's being dumbed down. We have a society that's being hurt. We have a society that I don't know if we can do what my father did. Vietnam was a testing stone, and the guys, I'm telling you, they did a hell of a job in Vietnam. The politicians took them out, just like the politicians are taking us out, tried to take us out in the Middle East until Donald Trump stepped in and said, you know what? We are tired of paying and fighting other people's wars. You have to pay for us being there. Yes, if you weren't mercs, we're going to be there, but you're going to pay us to be there. We're not going to go into the coffers of the American people. Now, we had a Harvard law guy on this panel too. And his remarks were just so bizarre, I won't even share them with you. Jonathan Turley, I've had Jonathan Turley on my show before, and Mr. Turley does a great job, I think, in interpreting the Constitution, and I trust him more than anyone else. But Jonathan Turley, this is what he had to say about what's going on in this hearing. Let's go. Let's play it. Let's see here. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I testified in front of you a few months ago. And if you recall, we had an exchange, and I encouraged you to bring those actions. And I said I thought you would win, and you did. And I think it was an important win for this committee because I don't agree with President Trump's argument in your case. But that's an example of what can happen if you actually subpoena witnesses and go to court. Then you have an obstruction case. Because a court issues an order, and unless they stay that order by a higher court, you have obstruction. But I can't emphasize this enough, and I'll say it just one more time. If you impeach a president, if you make a high crime and misdemeanor out of going to the courts, it is an abuse of power. It's your abuse of power. You're doing precisely what you're criticizing the president for doing. We have a third branch that deals with conflicts of the other two branches. And what comes out of there and what you do with it is the very definition of legitimacy.
Wow. That says Jonathan Turley. Okay, hold on.
Mr. Chairman, I testified in front of you a few months ago.
Okay, hold on. So I guess some of you aren't hearing the audio that I'm playing on through the system. So I'm going to check that real quick. But basically, it was Jonathan Turley saying that you have to use the system. You can't go around making up law, is what he's telling these folks. But they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want to make up their own laws. They want to have us somehow, how can I say this? Be the whipping bag. They want to impeach this president so bad they will say anything. They will do anything. And guess what? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. We're not going to allow them to steal another election. We have to be careful. And I say this with all sincerity because these people have, with these people, the Democrats, they've given driver's licenses to the opposition. They've given driver's license to people who they feel will vote Democrat, the new immigrants. And they always say, well, we're going to make things so much better. We don't want to live with these people. We don't want them in our country. Sorry. So I'm going over here. Let me open this up again. Let's see here. There was a whole bunch of people replying. Hear you, but we can't hear the recording. Sorry, I can't get those recordings up. I tried, but we'll work on it. We'll figure it out here. But the reality is we have too many people who are lying. They're lying to the American people. Adam Schiff, we know he's a liar. Nadler said he was going to impeach the president right after the president was elected. He said, I'm the only one who has the intellectual capability to impeach the president. I didn't say that. Nadler said it. So when you go on and on and on, you listen to these things and you go, wait a minute. Who is in charge here? And it's not Nadler. It's not Schiff. There has to be a bigger force than these two guys who are pushing this agenda to impeach the president. Take the president out. Take out a duly elected president. Now, I don't agree with everything that Donald Trump does. There's very little I disagree with. I always call Donald Trump the white Charles Butler. But I will say this. I'm so glad that he walked out in NATO. He walked out of the summit. They were trying to make fun of him. And he said, hey, I don't need this. I got the big stick. I got the purse. You little wimps are over here talking and laughing at me. And guess what? You'll be sucking my kneecaps to get some money next week. You're going to suck my kneecaps to get some money for NATO. You're going to suck my kneecaps to get some money for the Hague. You're going to suck my kneecaps to get some money for defense systems. And you're going to laugh at me? Really? I don't think so. And he got up and walked out. I don't blame him. I love this guy. Okay. I love Trump. I think he's great. No, I'm not running for office. Not running for office. Need to get rich. Not running for office, folks. Got to make some money. Sorry. So, as we matriculate though, and through this show, it's always a privilege to come on and talk to you all about what's going on. It's just amazing to me. Amazing that we stand by what we talk about. I was in the Union League Club earlier today, and I saw this lady, and I walked up to her and I said, I actually shook hands with Joe Biden right here. And she gave me that smug Democrat look, when I talk to Republicans, I talk to conservatives, there's always this connection. It's hard to explain, but it's a connection. When I talk to Democrats about anything, there's no connection between me and them. There's no feeling. There's no connection. However, when I shook hands with Joe Biden and talked to Joe Biden, there was a connection. He connected on a different level. But this particular person, happened to be a woman, was, I said hello, and I was talking to Joe Biden here, and she says, well, are you going to vote for him? I said, no way. I'm a Trump guy. She said, Trump? Oh, my God. How could you vote for Donald Trump? I said, well, why wouldn't I vote for Donald Trump on all the things that he's done for this country? She said, well, he lies all the time. I said, well, Obama lies all the time. She said, well, I'm not talking about Obama. I said, well, we have to talk about Obama if we're going to talk about Donald Trump, because every time Barack Obama's lips were moving, he was lying, and no one said a word. I said, what about when Eric Holder would not address subpoenas from the Congress? He's the only attorney general that's ever been censured. She said, well, we won't talk about that. I want to talk about Donald Trump. I said, well, let's talk about it. I said, he said, well, he lies all the time. I said, he didn't tell any more lies than Barack Obama. Barack Obama lied about Fast and Furious. He covered up Fast and Furious. He certainly obstructed the investigation into Fast and Furious. That's not conspiratorial. I said, let's talk about Bill Clinton. He lied too. He lied all the time. I said, Bill Clinton should have been tried for treason. And I went down my list, WTO, $300,000 from the Chinese military intelligence folks, 5 Chinese men in prison who donated to his campaign, most favored nation status he gave to China, the Cray computer he gave to China. He also gave them the technology that lowered their R&D for missile guidance technology by 25 years. Bill Clinton did all that for campaign donations. Is that not personally helping himself? Well, yeah. And he should have been tried for Treason. Treason. Not bribery, treason. He gave away technology to the Chinese and jobs. He allowed our manufacturing companies to run overseas for profit. So see, this is all this is about. You make a television in China, you sell it back here. You make it in China, you're going to sell it back here for $300 because you're going to sell it for $300 anyway. The difference is in that $300 you sell it here for, you probably have to take out, say, $80 in labor. So in China, you take out less than five. So that's $75 I'm making on each unit that I would make if I made it here in America. See, that's how this works. It's not like because I make it in China, it's going to be cheaper in America. It's going to be cheaper on my store shelves. See, that's how dumb Americans are. And if you fell into that, if you bought into that because that's what they tell you, that's your stupidity. Do you really think that manufacturers are going to take any less money because they build it cheaper? You think they're that benevolent that, oh, okay, so I saved $75 on building this television and I'm just going to pass it on to the consumer and take that hit? Bullshit. Put that money in their pocket. So on top of the profit that they'd already make building it here in the US, they've increased it $75 per unit, making money hands over fist. Companies, if you're a stockholder, you're making out. If you're the middle class, you got screwed. You got screwed. Baltimore to Holland News Jack is on my YouTube page, and he says Trump seems to embellish more than outright lie. No question. He embellishes the hell out of whatever it is. But tell me who doesn't. As they often say, if you don't toot your own horn, no one else will. I learned that the hard way. Hard work. Everybody's going to watch. Man, I had more people steal my work and take credit for my work than I can ever tell you about. You better be out there singing your own tune. You better be out there singing your own praises. Like one guy told me, he said, hey, between you and Wayne Allen Root, I don't know who has the biggest ego. I said, well, Wayne certainly has the biggest wallet. Wayne's killing him, man. He's on Newsmax. He's got his show in Vegas. He's syndicating his show. He's a great guy. You should check it out. Wayne Allen Root. Wayne spelled W-A-N-E, of course. Root, R-O-O-T, and Allen, Wayne Allen Root. Allen is spelled A-L-L-Y-N. Allen. Wayne Allen Root. Great guy. Love Wayne. They said they still steal your ideas. See, yeah, they still steal my ideas, no question. I said that these drug cartels and domestic gangs, as well as international gangs, should be declared urban terrorists, but especially gangs here in America, because they kill civilians. See, this is different than the mafia. The mafia didn't go around killing civilians. They made a point of not killing civilians. They'd go into a restaurant. They killed other gang members. They didn't shoot civilians. These kids today, you can be sitting in your own house, totally obscure from any gang activity, any gang contact whatsoever, and bullets are flying through your house. I say take these young men out. Not put them in a prison so that somebody can get paid to watch them. Let's get rid of these private prisons and put people back to work. And how do you get drugs in a prison? How do you get drugs in a prison? How are people screwing people in a prison? How are people being raped in prison? This is unconscionable. And wardens should be jailed when people are raped and drugged and abused in prison. It should be a controlled environment. But see, the prisons and Warren, the wardens and the COs, correctional officers, they know this, that a drugged population is easier to handle than a non-drugged population. And a population that's getting his rocks off is a lot easier to handle than one who's not. So they allow the rapes, they allow the drugs to permeate the damn prisons. That's what they do. Hmm. You can't make this stuff up. I wish I could get this sound, figure out how to get this sound played from Facebook and from this uh, this, what do you call it? This um, platform through the system. I'll figure it out, but it's always something. Anyway, we're gonna gravitate to CRN here shortly and get doing what we need to get done. But that's all I want to say about this hearing that's going on. But I do want to talk about my past superintendent, Eddie Johnson, who was fired unceremoniously by Mayor Lightfoot, who tries to claim a moral high ground. This is a lesbian, an open lesbian who's married to another woman who's trying to claim a moral high ground. I have to laugh because this is a person who's obviously committed to sin. And she's trying to claim a moral high ground. She's married to a woman. She has a wife. And so I said, so she's claiming that Eddie Johnson kissed another woman. His behavior, he lied to me. He kissed another. He was out carousing and he kissed another. Well, this is the truth. The truth. He probably did. I don't know what kind of kiss it was. If it was a kiss on the cheek, a peck on the lips, who knows? I do know this. If Eddie Johnson had been kissing a man, she probably wouldn't have embarrassed him. She would have said, "Well, Eddie, you're retiring, so we'll just bump your date up a little bit. Tell him that everything, the transition is working so well that you're leaving early." No, she didn't do that because he kissed a woman. Am I doing what the Democrats do? I'm taking my opinion and I'm telling them to you as fact that the reason she fired Eddie Williams is because he kissed a woman and not a man. That's the way Democrats talk. That's the way Barack Obama talks. That's the way Rahm Emanuel used to talk. That's the way Morning Joe Scarborough. That's the way he talks. I'm stating my opinion, but it's a fact. I say that Eddie Johnson, Superintendent Eddie Johnson, if he'd kissed a man instead of a woman, Mayor Lightfoot would look the other way because she's a lesbian who's married to another woman, her wife. Pete Buttigieg, which brings me to Mayor Pete. Oh man, Mayor Pete is slick, man. This dude, he's like, well, African Americans really don't have a problem with me because of my LGBT BQIAVRST. I'm an alphabet guy. It's that they really don't know me. They don't know my policies. That's why. No, I'm sorry, Pete. It's the fact that you are a homosexual. I don't use the word gay and homosexual synonymously. Sorry. I don't think there's anything wrong or there's anything gay about being homosexual. I just don't. There was an error. Please try again. What does that mean? It means that Facebook probably took me down because I'm talking about things in the way that they don't want me to talk about. You can't believe in God. You can't believe in religion. It's about we're legal. You may be legal, but God has another plan for you. Sorry. And when I talk like that, they really get upset. They go, "Oh my God, Charles Butler is talking about God. Oh my God, what does that mean? We actually believe in God. He can say these things. He can believe in God and not be criticized. Yeah, I can. See, because when we talk about the separation of church and state in the Constitution, let me be clear. It's not that you can't believe in God. It's not that you can't practice your religion. It's that the government cannot establish a national religion. Kind of like the Church of England when the king was ruling. The Church of England. So you couldn't belong to the Roman Catholic Church. You had to belong to the Church of England. Henry VIII was a mess, wasn't he? He created the Church of England so that he could marry all those chicks. Like his style. He was a ruthless bastard, though. They say his ghost can be seen running down streets headless. I don't know about all that, but what do I know? I'm just a country boy from Pontiac, Michigan. So, the reality, as we kind of just get back to Buttigieg, he says blacks don't have a problem with me because of my sexual orientation. Well, yeah, sorry, Pete, they do. They find it offensive. They find it a slap in the face that a homosexual thinks that he can openly be immoral and flaunt his immorality in people's face and be a white boy. Sorry, Pete. Somebody's been giving you bad information because black folks don't support and tolerate homosexuality. Well, women do, and they're hairdressers and in church, because the black church is like the hotbed of homosexuality in the black community, because these pastors are getting money from these homosexuals, and they're very clear. If it weren't for the homosexuals in my church, I wouldn't have a choir. I wouldn't have the collections that we have on Sunday if it wasn't for the homosexuals. So I support them because they're God's children too, as long as they keep putting money in that tray. Okay, man, I tell you can't make this stuff up. You really can't. There is a question, continues to be a question. Today we're talking about Freddie Hampton. And for those of you who don't know about Freddie Hampton, man, this is really deep. Freddie Hampton was a Black Panther. And, somebody said here, remember when, well, yeah, I always say gay is happy. Gay is an emotion. Yes, I'm quoting Baltimore to Holland New Jack. They say, rumor has it that more conservatives are to be banned on December 10th. Wow, this is deep. Any conservative thoughts? This is what's coming from Baltimore now. And the person's name is Baltimore to Holland. It goes here. It says here, those that work the hardest don't necessarily reap benefits. Brian Gumble. Baltimore to Holland New Jack says, any thoughts on conservative Owen Benjamin being banned from YouTube? Owen Benjamin, I don't know him. He had over 250,000 subscribers and spoke out about the things you speak out about. Yeah, I don't know. Rumor has it that more conservatives are being banned on December 10th. Well, I probably will be one of them. Pete Buttigieg is such a liar. Yeah, that's true. He is. Remember when gay men happy? Yes. Why don't use it in terms of homosexuality? Because I don't know anyone who's practices homosexual activity that's happy. I mean, it's a little drastic getting something going the other way in your anus. Okay. God, values, and law of nature are considered hate speech. So you're so hateful, CB. Yeah, I'm not hateful. I'm just telling the truth. Hate speech. Said Robert at Robert's Watch is true. We need to take the word back. Yeah, we do need to take the word back. Robert said he's a comedian. Who, me? Robert, I'm not a comedian. I'm just telling the truth. So, yeah, so I was segueing into this article on Black Panther Fred Hampton. They talk about Fred, and Fred was an interesting guy. Don't get me wrong. I know people who knew Fred Hampton, and they say that he was the smartest guy that they knew. And these are some very smart people themselves. I mean, so much so they were really pompous assholes, if you ask me. But they said Fred Hampton was the smartest guy that they knew. So this early morning raid on his apartment 50 years ago, they still have one question that's plugged at his nerves for over 50 years, said a fellow Black Panther, Billy Che Brooks, who remembers Hampton as focused, caring, full of love, and funny visionary. He wants to know who the hell drugged Chairman Fred. Hampton was 21, Clark 22. They were ambushed on December 4th in a raid conducted jointly by the Chicago police officers and those officers assigned to then State's Attorney Ed Harahan, another Democrat. Harahan, racist Democrat. Okay, so um, they go on to say here Brooks, the deputy minister of education for the Black Panther Party of Illinois, said the police raided their offices several times that year and constantly harassed them. But they didn't harass, see, the Blackstone Rangers. They didn't harass the Peace Stone Nation. They didn't harass these people who were distributing drugs and prostitution and, just committing real crimes in the neighborhood. Because, see, they were getting paid. They was getting paid. That's what happens in these big cities. And see, nobody says, why do we have gangs that exist? Eradicate them by any means necessary. But if they did, the police wouldn't get, when you go and you check out these police officers, man, these guys, they're supposed to top out like it's 72 grand a year or something. With all the overtime, the court dates, the graft, you go to their homes, they got like Porsches in their driveway. Nice neighborhoods, Porsches, Bentleys, what do you call those things? Jags. Hey, man, there's some fine vehicles for $72,000 in one of the highest cost of living cities in the world. Okay. So, in November of 69, fellow Black Panther Spurgeon Jake Winters, who was 19, for whom the party named their medical center in Lawndale for, died in a shootout with police. 2 officers died too. After Winters' death, the Panthers sensed that something was imminent. Dun, dun, dun. The police entered Hampton's apartment and unleashed 99 bullets. The Panthers only got off one shot. 99 bullets. I think they killed 2 or 3 people. That's what it says here. The Sun-Times, after a Sun-Times reporter took a Panther-led tour of the bullet-riddled apartment, the story detailed what was depicted in official photographs as nail heads circled as bullet holes. The home was dubbed Ground Zero by Hampton's son, Fred Hampton Jr. Brooks was jailed from November of 69 to January of 1970 for a case he caught in 1968. He heard the news and was devastated. They had a guy named William O'Neill. He was an FBI informant. See, this is what old boy did, Hoover. He went out and hired these black dudes, put them on payroll, and they betrayed black groups. So whether it was the Black Panther Party, whether it was civil rights groups, you always had these Negroes who were on the payroll, on the dole. The real Sambos. Not Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was a hero. The real Sambos. So second, it's also speculated that he put Synanol in Fred Hampton's Kool-Aid, making it easier for the police to kill Hampton. Wow. So I wonder what happened to O'Neill. He didn't come into the House. I know that for a fact. So who put the Senegal in Chairman Fred's Kool-Aid if it wasn't the informer? The question has dogged him for most of his life. He's still trying to figure that out. And Hampton, they said there was an analogous situation with 69, which was going on then. He said, then we had President Nixon. Now we have Trump as president. The whole objective was oppression, and it's the same flavor now. It's been the same flavor since, man. Please. What you think Daley did to you? I mean, you think, I mean, I know he cooperated with the criminal element, with the criminal gangs. So you think that Trump is like Nixon? Nixon tried to clean up the black community so people could have a decent lifestyle. You gang members don't tell people how to live. You gang members don't control neighborhoods. Are you crazy? That's what's wrong with these Negroes. This is a Panther speaking. Talking about well, Fred was considered a threat in the eyes of law enforcement. Yeah, well, he may have been. But you don't tell me how to think. You don't tell me where to go. You don't tell me how to act, you Negroes. But that's what they try to do here in Chicago and other places. Try to bend you into what they kill them. See, that's why they took guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens here in Chicago, so that the gangs could control. All of this is about control. See here, says check out all the luxury cars in public housing parking lots. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I do know this. The cops who were there are driving nice cars. Black Panther Party regularly maligned by police and city officials, but they were in cahoots with each other. Anyway, as I sit here, the show's got about 11 minutes. I can tell you, I don't know who killed Fred, who drugged Fred, who killed Fred, but I can tell you that all of this, we stuff, I never bought into. Because when I go to pay my mortgage or my rent, it's I. When I go to work, it's I. When I write that check to ComEd, it's I, not we. So Jesse and all his craziness, Jesse Jackson and the rest of these people, sorry, not interested in being with you. Did I say that? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. There was a, oh man, you guys don't want to hear this, but I'm going to go into this. A national story. Ex CPD commander Keith Jackson, his mother died in 1994. This dude kept collecting her checks for 23 years. So they didn't catch up with him until 2017. He collected a total of $363,064. Wow. So they didn't send him to jail or to prison. They didn't send him to prison. Instead, they sentenced him to 2 years of probation, and that will include 6 months of community confinement, whatever that means. He pled guilty to Social Security theft in May, got sentenced here, and wow. He was making $160,000 as a district commander. It's a lot of money, man. No wonder. Talking about cops topping out at 72,000. District commander was making 160. Damn. Whew. Boy, I tell you, no one. I got to get the hell up out of here. But where you gonna go? Where you gonna go, Charles? You can't go too many places. It's a mess. It's a mess, I tell you. Prison for the criminal, fake cop, please. Okay. So I can tell you this. Gentrification, affordable housing, and the fight for Pilsen's public schools. Ooh. Unless more affordable housing is created, families of modest means will continue to move out. School enrollment will continue to go down. Down, down, down. Anyway, Eddie Johnson's fighting back. For those of you who don't know, that's our police superintendent who got fired for kissing a woman and drinking too much and going to sleep at a couple of blocks from his house in his SUV. Like I said, Eddie, you should have been kissing a dude. You probably would have survived. Hey, but it's been a interesting day. They're still questioning these so-called legal scholars. Like, we really give two hoots what these legal scholars think and what they feel. You know, this is about impeachment. The president had to cross the line on four issues: bribery, treason, high crimes misdemeanor, none of which have been proven by that phone call. So they couldn't get him with the phone call they couldn't get him with the Mueller report, right? The Mueller report was a dud. So we're going to impeach the president of the United States because he had a phone call after the Mueller report was a dud. He had a phone call with the president of Ukraine. So that's what we're going to impeach him for. Doing a quid pro quo. And then the American people don't understand what quid pro quo means. So we'll say bribery. Guess what? Doesn't meet that standard either. And I would play the clip for you, but you can't hear it anyway. But what Jonathan Turley says is that bribery, the definition of bribery, whether it's 1792 or today, what Trump did in his talking to Zelensky does not meet the standard of bribery. I'm not saying this. This is what constitutional professor is saying. Jonathan Turley, not Charles Butler. So all I can say is, folks, let's get out there. Let's vote for the president. God bless the president. I am so proud of him for getting up and walking out on those people who are trying to make fun of him. Who do they think they are? Little twerps. I tell you, I'm glad that he's a New Yorker and he's a thick skin. He can deal with all this stuff because a lot of people couldn't deal with it. One of the things that kind of was interesting, I haven't read too much into it, is the founders of Google's gave up their top jobs. I don't know why. I got to figure that out. And everyone's talking about Kamala Harris leaving the presidential campaign. Well, she didn't have a snowball's chance. Cory Booker is saying that, well, I'm like Obama. I'm comparing my campaign to Obama's. You can't even make the stage, Cory. You're running out of money, Cory. You can't campaign. You can't open offices. Kamala's, she's smart. She said, hey, I'm out of here. Enough's enough. I didn't catch fire. I'm out. I'm gone. Good for her. That's all I can say. She ended her bid for president. So I always say anyone who, like Camilla, whose career was built by her association with Willie Brown. She was Willie Brown's girlfriend for several number of years, according to Willie, according to others. And I even saw her with Willie myself when I lived in California. And boy, she was fine. I ain't gonna lie to you. God dog it, she was fine. I don't blame Brother Willie for hooking that up. But Ms. Harris' campaign tweeted its strategy regarding which states to compete in, starting out with a plan to invest heavily in South Carolina, given the state's majority Black Democrat electorate. But her aides and supporters, according to people familiar with her campaign, said they were surprised by the resiliency of the former Vice President Joe Biden's support among Black voters. Hello. Hello. She thought because she was Black, they were going, those days are over. Barack Obama, as I clearly pointed out, Barack Obama ended the I'm going to vote for a Black person mentality. I'm going to vote. People are saying, I'm going to vote for the person who's going to do the job. They went on to talk about her challenge from the beginning was really reaching enough voters so that people know who she is, and that includes black voters. And she couldn't do it. She didn't really have a lot of attention from black voters until she got in, but I think she was running out of the room in some ways in terms of increasing her support among voters. Hey, it is what it is. And, just being black does not get you the black vote. And those days are gone. Hang it up. People like, that's how people like Elijah Cummings can stay in office and not do anything for 20 years. Elijah Cummings, a joke. Elijah Cummings. Oh boy. Hey, but look, we're getting ready to end the show, and I want to thank you for tuning in, and thank Baltimore to Holland Jack and uh, Robert's Watches for chatting with me out here. You guys have been funny. So we're gonna end the show here and get on down the road. Hopefully, we'll have a system up and running here shortly. But thanks again for tuning in, and we'll be talking. Take care. And let's see. It says we got 2 minutes. I'm early. So I better hang in here. Dun, 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 dun. let me see if I can play some music. See if it'll come through. Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see here. Temptations. Let me see if this is gonna click in. Hello. 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 I don't know. Don't know if it worked or not, but I know that. Hey, I don't know. Just trying to make it see what's going on here. But thank you again for being here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow, same time, same place. Thanks. Mm-mm-mm-mm.